Hello. Welcome back. The Skyhold. Home of the Inquisition. Alright. See, I gotta level up. Still don't have a specialization yet. That sounds fun. Go for that. Knockdown's always good. Can't go wrong with knockdown. Alright, so we did the party thing, whatever it's called. The Halam Shirel Winter Palace thing, where we saved the Empress from an assassin. And oh, we had to pass judgment on Florian. That's Florian. Duchess Florian. Florian. Apparently we can do that. Let's go take care of that first.
Now this is a hall worthy of the Inquisition.
Yes, worthy indeed. Interesting.
I do not believe a reminder is necessary for this accused. Her capture and disgrace could not have been more public. Grand Duchess Floriane de Chalon, although her titles are among the dignities already at risk of forfeiture. You spared her life despite her treachery. What becomes of it now falls to you.
Welcome to my party.
Out of your element, Florian. Welcome to the Inquisition. My party.
That's all you have to say?
Despite her posture, Lady Floriane has acknowledged your authority.
Should I curse you on behalf of the Elder One? I realize he had no intention of honoring the concordats I manipulated. Do as you must. I respect your mastery of the game, even as I despise your victory. Celine does not know her fortune.
Yes.
Well, she has caused no end of misery. It's time she brought some joy. Grand Duchess Floriane de Chalon, jester to the Inquisition. In flat shoes.
History's greatest malevolence, Inquisitor. I am the jest of Orlais already.
Alright. We have the official jester of the Inquisition now. Alright, let's go talk to people, see if there's anything I need to catch up on with people here. They are Fisher.
I suppose. So the less he does, the...
I need to have a few words with my publisher. The first one will be you, and the second one will be Bastard.
Why?
They've claimed for years my crime serials don't sell in Orlais. So why is the Council of Heralds asking me for autographs? Sorry, distracted. Anyway, you need something?
What are your thoughts on the Inquisition?
If there's anybody out there who hasn't joined the Inquisition, they're hiding under a rock. Did you want to take over for Eldon? I think we might be able to conquer it just by looking east.
What do you think of our general?
He's been insufferably smug lately. You might want to tell him to watch his back. I think Liliana might shiv him.
How do you think Josephine is handling the job of ambassador?
I'm starting to get the feeling that this is all a warm-up before she takes over Antiva in a bloodless coup.
What do you think of Liliana's work?
Do you want to know what the Arashok had for breakfast this morning? I think she can tell you.
Good to know.
Back to work then.
But what did he have for breakfast? He had bones. Anything new with you, Baldy?
There are spirits hovering by the veil to observe the thrones of powerful nations, the machinations, betrayals. After our time in Halam Sharal, I understand why. I had forgotten how I missed court intrigue.
Well, I'm glad you liked it, even though you weren't there.
Good time.
Political gambits, broken promises, half-truths. It is a palace full of motivation, and motivation is where great things happen. In any event, Celine should now be a steadfast ally, especially after helping her neutralize Briala.
Is Briala's fate a problem?
Am I sensing concern over how we dealt with Briala?
We didn't really deal with Briala, though. That's the
Why
thing.
would I disapprove of... Oh, because we're both elves. I'm sorry, I was confused. I do not consider myself to have much in common with the elves.
I mean, yeah, we didn't really do anything with Briala. From what I remember, we were just like, oh, Gaspar tried to usurp the throne from Celine, and Briala was just kind of there, and Gaspard was he exiled? I don't remember what we did with him. And Celine reigns in power, and Briala did. I don't know what happened to Briala. I don't know. I don't remember what. I don't think anything happened to her. Like, why are we acting like there's something bad happened to her? I don't. All right. Okay. You don't seem to have much in common with the elves. Well then, who then?
Who do you have much in common with? Who are your people?
A good question. I joined the Inquisition to save the world. Regardless of who my people are, this was the best way to help them. As for the elves of Orlais, Briala did what she could. She was an admirable woman, even if her gambit failed.
I mean, I don't remember what she did. But fine, whatever.
If she were more admirable, she wouldn't have failed.
The world at large will judge her on success or failure alone. We who knew her, even briefly, have the luxury of looking deeper, to judge her strengths and flaws, instead of just seeing a pair of pointed ears.
I mean, I know I didn't really talk about it the last time, but there are different outcomes to how Wicked Hearts can end. Celine remaining Empress is probably the most common default option, but you can let Celine die, and Gaspard will take over. Or you can, I think, you can have Celine and Briala kind of rule jointly together. That was an option. Although I think I missed the chance to pursue that when choices came up. And then you have another option where Gaspard can rule, but Briala sort of has blackmail over him, and it's actually Briala kind of controlling Orlais at that point. So if you want her to take over, there's that option too. But I don't think I've ever actually done that option in any of my playthroughs. I don't wonder if I should have went for that. Anyway, you can see Baldy has expanded his frescoes.
Marvelous business, the Winter Palace. You saved an empress, and now she's eating out of your hand. Perfect mental image. All this dancing, politics, and murder makes me a bit homesick.
Should we do that more often?
That's something you'd like to do more often, then.
Watch as you twist an entire empire around your little finger. Yes, please. Of course, that leaves only Tevinter. And it wouldn't work as well there.
No? Why not?
Our dances are so much more intense. If an evening lacks a murder, we sniff and call it a ball. I hope you tried the ham they were serving, by the way. Tasted of despair. It's fascinating.
Oh, and you have to figure out what to do with this thing with Dorian. Well, maybe we'll take care of that
I
tonight.
don't really know anything about you.
Beyond my being a mage from Tevinter, you mean?
Beyond that, yes.
And beyond my being so charming and well-dressed, which is obvious to anyone.
I'm well aware of your finer qualities. Believe me.
Of course you are. You're a discerning and intelligent woman, after all. Now, what was I talking about? Ah, yes, me. I am the scion of House Parvis, a product of generations of careful breeding and the repository of its hopes and dreams. Naturally, I despised it all. The lies, the scheming, the illusions of supremacy. That's Tevinter in a nutshell, isn't it? Needless to say, my family was not happy with my choices.
Why would your family be upset with your choices?
Because I rejected their idyllic plan. If they had their way, by now I'd be married to some unlucky girl from a powerful family. We'd live in luxurious despair, despising each other as I waited to take my father's place in the magisterium. I declined the honor, and thus it's best I'm far from home. Less of an embarrassment that way, you see?
I'm getting the impression that you don't care much for your homeland.
On the contrary, I care for my homeland a great deal. There's so much potential. Sadly, we squander it. We refuse to acknowledge how far we've fallen because pretending is easier. We pretend the Qunari can be beaten. We pretend that we're superior to everyone, even our own people. Not everyone feels that way. I don't. Sadly, we're the minority.
It just seems so much of what you say about the Imperium is entirely negative.
It might sound that way. For all our faults, my people have many virtues. We are laden with history and culture. Tevinter is where Thedas truly began, remember? We treasure our past and preserve it. You can walk down a side street and find nothing built during the modern ages. And despite appearances, we care. Deeply. About everything. We have no reserve, not in war and not in love. If I truly believed my homeland was beyond all hope, I wouldn't miss it so much.
What did you mean by generations of careful breeding?
The great families of Tevinter don't have children. They refine traits, weed out the undesirable, and promote the rest. My mother was chosen for my father because magic runs strongly in her blood. Never mind that they loathed each other. They wanted a son who could become Archon to make House Parvis the envy of the Imperium. They got me. A cautionary tale that you should be careful what you wish for.
Why remain with the Inquisition? Why not go back to Tevinter?
I'm not exactly welcome back home. Not that it matters, I'm quite accustomed to being a pariah. It adds to my charm. I can do more for Tevinter here. If the Venatori succeed, it'll set my homeland back 1,000 years. I'm sure some magisters would disagree, but that's why we kill them.
I think I've heard enough.
That's too bad. I never tire of talking about myself.
I'm trying to remember the outcomes of this. I don't really remember. You know what? I think I'm just gonna go ahead and tell him. And let Dorian decide what he wants to do here.
Dorian, there's a letter you need to see.
A letter? Is it a naughty letter? A humorous proposal from some Antivan dowager?
Not quite. It's from your father.
From my father? I see. And what does Magister Hallward want, pray tell?
A meeting.
Show me this letter. I know my son? What my father knows of me would barely fill a thimble. This is so typical. I'm willing to bet this retainer is a henchman, hired to knock me on the head and drag me back to Tevinter.
I won't let him do that.
That would be hard to do while I stood there.
He expects me to travel with Mother Giselle, although Maker knows why he'd think I would. Let's go. Let's meet this so-called family retainer. If it's a trap, we escape and kill everyone. You're good at that. If it's not, I send the man back to my father with a message that he can stick his alarm in his wit's end.
There seems to be bad blood between you and your family.
Interesting turn of phrase. But you're correct. They don't care for my choices, nor I for theirs.
Because you wouldn't get married? Because you left?
That too.
I think you should meet with this retainer. Find out what your family wants.
I didn't ask what you thought, did I? That was unworthy, I apologize. There'd be no harm in hearing what this man of my father's has to say. If I don't like it, however, I want to leave.
Alright, fair enough.
That works for me.
I wonder how much my father paid this man to wait around just in case I showed. We'll find out soon enough.
Alright. So we have to bring Dorian there. Alright, we'll do that. We'll take care of that later. Lost legs. It'll be on the list of things to do tonight. I don't really have any specific plans on what exactly I'm going to be doing tonight. My original plan was, oh, let me go do the Exalted Plains, but then I'm like, do I really want to? I don't know. I think I'm just going to do some little things. Since we had such a big stream and event the last time, we're going to do... Just wrap up some smaller things tonight. Take it easy. Take a chill night. Just talk with people and take care of a few things tonight.
Inquisitor, I wonder if you might help me with a delicate situation. There is an alchemical formula that I must complete, but I have been unable to obtain a critical ingredient. The heart of a snowy wyvern. I had arranged to obtain one, but the chevaliers working with me were killed in the Civil War.
I didn't know you were an alchemist, Vivian. What exactly is this project you're working on?
It is a special request from a member of the Council of Heralds. I am still the Imperial Court Enchanter, after all. The matter is private. That is all there is to say.
You want me to risk my life to get this thing for you, but won't tell me what it's for?
My dear, it is hardly proper for me to blab the secrets of those who put trust in my discretion. I would not have attained my position at court if I didn't know when to be silent.
I'm not a hunter. Why do you think I
Well,
can help?
actually, yeah, she kind
This
of
beast
are a
is not
hunter.
hunted for sport, as other wyverns sometimes are. It is far more deadly. In the past, chevaliers have been dispatched to either kill the creatures or drive them away from villages. Since my chevaliers have fallen to political conflict, I find myself in need of someone with a martial aptitude.
If I'm going to hunt down a snowy wyvern, I need you to tell me everything you know about it.
They're quite rare and exceedingly dangerous. Their venom is the most potent of any wyvern. Ordinary hunters would not make the attempt. The risk is too great. You, my dear, would certainly be an equal to this monster.
Okay.
I'll do what I can.
Thank you, my dear. I would be most grateful. I shall give the location of its lair to Cullen. Remember, my dear, I must have its heart, or the potion will not work. I eagerly await your success.
Alright. So we got a Dorian quest, and we got a Vivian quest. I don't think there's any... Actually, hold on. There are rooms over here, that's right. Yeah, rooms. Not a problem. I haven't really talked to Josephine that much. Let me make sure I talk to her before I forget. Kinda really forgot to talk to her last time.
Bracing to be in the thick of the game again. The last time I was at Alam Shiral was Countess Letienne's wedding. There were a dozen affairs, 5 secret alliances, and a duel between 2 chevaliers over the vintage of an Antivan port. But until the Duchess was unmasked, I've never seen the Winter Palace in shock.
No one can say the evening wasn't memorable.
They've already begun composing songs about it in Val Royale, no doubt. The game's become increasingly insular in the past few years. Corypheus skillfully took advantage. It's disturbing so few people in the Orlesian court were aware of the Duchess's machinations.
You'd think the game's greatest players would spot a murderer in their midst.
As I said, insularity. Familiar rivals become the only ones worth sparring with. But let's not lose sight of victory. Your actions at the ball have secured us allies and favors alike.
Playing the game was thrilling. We did just make history.
Indeed. Tales of this affair have begun circulating in Val Royale. Although I do wish Varric would show a bit more restraint in his accounts of the evening. Inquisitor, is it true? Is the mark on your hand magic cast by Corypheus?
Corypheus claimed it's a spell gone wrong.
I wanted to think it was a blessing. A sign the Maker was returning to his creation. How credulous of me.
The anchor's nothing more special than a misfired spell.
At least you had the good fortune to take it from Corypheus. Does it hurt? The anchor, that is.
Kinda feels a bit weird, like you got a big gaping hole in your hand sometimes.
It's not pain. It's more like my nerves go on fire.
It sounds most unpleasant.
Yeah, imagine you're trying to, like, do personal hygiene and the anchor just kind of goes off while you're doing that. It's like, oh, that's, like, super unpleasant. It's like, that's sort of unpleasant. Hey, hold on, where do those stairs go? Oh, wait, no, they go down to the, I know where to go. I didn't talk to, Bird Lady. Is there any news on Bird Lady?
So it's true. Some look to Cassandra or even me as Justinia's successor. I never thought the idea would gain momentum. Of course, with the other candidates out of the picture...
Is becoming divine something you really want?
When Justinia was alive, I would have laughed at anyone who even suggested that I could be her successor. Things have changed. Still, I don't know. Restoring the Chantry will be like trying to steer a sinking vessel through a storm.
Whoever becomes divine will have my support if she requires it.
And I'm sure whoever becomes divine will absolutely require the Inquisition's backing. The Chantry is faltering, but it still has influence over the people. Who tells the people what's right? Who do they look to in times of peril? A divine with enough support can change the Chantry. And with it, Thedas. But this is a discussion for later. If Corypheus wins, finding a new divine will be the least of our problems.
True. That's going to have to wait till the end game.
I'm listening.
Anything going on?
Anything I should know?
Celine has cemented power in Orlais. Good, we need an ally like her. At the moment, she's said to be rooting out the last of Gaspard's supporters. Once that is done, we will have a united Orlais behind the Inquisition.
I'll leave you to your work.
Inquisitor, if you're looking for the commander, he's gone to speak with Seeker Pentecost.
Ah, okay. Yeah, Jacob, is Alistair still here? Yep, he's still here. Hey, Alistair, guess who's here?
Need something else?
You have no interest at all, do you? Hi.
Another time, then.
I suppose you're right.
The assassin.
I didn't understand the Grand Ball. It would have been easier if they said what they wanted.
You know, I actually kind of agree with that.
That would have made everything much simpler.
The colors were pretty, though.
So, Cole.
Oh, you,
I'll talk to you later.
yeah.
Yes.
We already discussed all those options already.
I'll keep an eye out.
What do you mean?
Empress of fire in the reign of the lion, eclipse the...
One for the Empress. For Gaspar. Brianna. The Duchess. And Caritas. Right in the dangle bag.
Well, remind me to stay on your good side.
Don't worry, you're sparkling compared to that lot. A cook here, a footman there. What's it matter, right, so long as there's a book for the throne? A pretty one, sure. But how many lives are worth one empress's arse? Ugh, that place. Should have just thrown in some bees and slammed the doors.
Earwigs. Earwig would definitely stop the ball.
I don't know. You want to stop a party? I think you go earwigs.
I hate those things, with their little pinchy butts. Josephine should add that to her paper threats. You know the real lesson from all this? Never sleep with an empress. That, and Briala being an idiot. The whole thing would have gone different if that little piss-up wasn't in the middle.
That was a mistake on their part. It made everything worse.
Wrong way around, Inquisitor. It started worse. Lots of people died before there was a hole in the sky. That's who you're saving. If you get a chance, maybe remind them not to be idiots.
Remind people not to be idiots. Idiots. That has been noted. Way the Tempest. And, oh, I have everything I need to make the ball of smoke. Nice.
You have a problem. That over there is a full tavern, but everyone's drinking alone. They're all up their own arses about the Inquisition. I can't have fun with everybody whinging, and they'll fall on their swords before Coryphanus can push them. I'm thinking pranks. Just you and me messing around in people's stuff. You know, to start.
Should I be doing this?
But I'm the Inquisitor. You know, the leader?
Right, they'll never suspect you. What, titles are only for getting away with bad stuff? Let's do something fun. Come on.
Okay.
Lead the way.
What, really?
Really.
I knew you were different. Let's go.
Time for hijinks.
Right, General Uptight is gone. Have a search about. Find something to mess with and give your soldiers a laugh. What, the desk? Oh yes, center of the Empire and all that. What to do, what to do.
All right, Sarah. What do you want to do?
Thing looks heavy. Don't want to move or break it. I got it. Easy one. Just a slip or something under here. There, won't notice much, but it's just that little bit wonky. He's so in control that'll piss him royally. I tell one of the soldiers and boom, the general seems like people. And since he works for you, you seem like people. Come on, next one. Right, little lady prissy pants. Have a look for something she likes too much. What, just the door? Where she greets every important idiot. Yes.
Well, Sarah, what do you have in mind?
Get a bucket.
Can't you use the old bucket over the door thing? That's so cliche.
Classic, yeah? 5 minutes of sloppy boss gets you weeks of happy kitchen staff. Except for the one who cleans it up, I suppose. But whatever. Next stop.
Do you really want to mess with Liliana? I mean, really? That's probably not a good idea.
What's that? A locked... No, leave that. Not interested in her hidden things. Not for just a bit of fun. Maybe feed her messengers something gassy? No, birds don't pop. But they flap and...
Who is up there?
No one here, Baldy.
Go!
Need to play a prank on
That was
Baldy.
fun. An inquisitor of the people, still remembering you're one of them. If all they got was the herald stuff, the serious bit, you'd start to sound pretty scary. That works, but not for long.
Whatever it takes. I'd start throwing pies if it kept people inspired.
Pies is so good, and Coryphanus would never do that. Good thing for you, innit? Because from the bottom, everyone up top sort of seems the same. It was fun chasing you, Inquisitor. Nice for you. You! Oh, frig. You did it!
That was fun, but let's not make my people irritated. Smooth flowing Inquisition. Alright, Bull, how about we do a little party?
You know I've got no problem with Orlesians, but Halam Sharal was a mess. At least under the Qun, you don't get everyone tripping on each other's dicks while the country goes to crap.
Corypheus had agents sowing dissent and muddying the waters.
That's just it. Orlais is so vulnerable. If you killed everyone in the Triumvirate, the Qun would survive unchanged. I don't know. The Qun isn't perfect, but it doesn't care what any single person wants. Orlais is full of people who care about nothing else. Man, those serving girls are frisky.
You said we should go get some drinks and meet your company?
Yeah, come on. It'll be fun. Ah, good. We're not drinking alone. How you doing, creme de la creme?
Your worship, I'm so glad he has someone new to hit with that joke.
I can think of worse places to go with Cremisius.
So can the chief, believe me. He loves his nicknames.
Hey, when I was growing up, my name was just this series of numbers. We all give each other nicknames under the Qun.
They ever wear shirts under the Qun, chief? Or do they just run around binding their breasts like that?
It's a harness, creme.
Yes, for your pillowy man bosoms. Let me know if you need help binding. You could really chisel something out of that overstuffed look.
Are you a man or a woman? Yeah.
Wait, are you? I didn't realize.
You didn't? Well, great. Now we can all talk about it.
In Kunadar, creme would be an Akunathlak. That's what we call someone born one gender but living like another.
And Kunari don't treat those Akun people any differently than a real man.
They are real men, just like you are.
Maybe your people aren't so bad after all.
Don't get your hopes up, Krem. We still come down hard on the back talk. Anyway, here's the rest of the charges, or what's left of the rest. A lot of them went looking for stronger drinks. We've got Rocky and Skinner there, and over there are Stitches, Dalish, and Grim. Crazy bunch of assholes, but they're mine.
Okay. I'm going to bring up this interesting point here about what, Iron Bull says about, Krem here. I was like, oh, you are a real man. We're accepting you, even though you are a woman. You're a woman, but we're accepting because we recognize you as a man. Okay. That's all fine and dandy. One thing is, like, I'm thinking back to Dragon Age Origins and with Sten. Sten specifically had an issue with people trying to be things that they weren't supposed to be. And I keep thinking, like, okay, the writers probably did change some ideas as they were going into, back from Origins going into Inquisition, which is, it's fine. And it's just a little bit of inconsistency I was kind of noticing, because Sten probably would not have said that. Sten would have probably been like, you were born a woman, why are you pretending to be a man? That does not make any sense. He would be like that, because he acted that way back in Origins. But Iron Bull was like, oh, you're cool. It's just, and he's saying like, oh, the Qun would be fine with that. So it's kind of like a weird contradiction. But I don't know. It's just a thought that just occurred to me here. It was like, whatever. Anyway.
Were you born on the surface, or are you from Orzammar?
Orzammar. I got exiled. Stupid noble crap. Also, I accidentally blew up a bit of the shape rate.
Rocky's one of our best sappers. He can take down enemy fortifications faster than a golem.
I'm also working on my own version of Kunari black powder. I've almost got it.
Yeah, you really don't.
Why aren't you with your clan?
Our keeper thought I should see the world a little.
Dalish don't have Templars, so they can't have too many mages in a clan at once.
Now, sir, you know I'm not a mage. That'd make me an apostate.
You carry a staff, Dalish.
It's a bow.
A bow with a giant glowing crystal at the tip.
Yes, it's for aiming. Old elven trick you wouldn't understand.
Actually, I wonder if you could combine a staff and a bow. It would be an interesting combination. I actually don't see why you couldn't make something like that.
I take it you're the company healer.
Yes, first time I ever picked up a sword was when the Blight hit Ferelden. Never put it back down.
He makes a potion that'll put you right back on your feet after even the toughest fight. It tastes terrible, though.
That's because it's a poultice, sir. You're not supposed to drink it.
So, how'd you join the Chargers?
Killed some people.
Skinner didn't take kindly to nobles testing their new swords on the elves in her alienage.
Bull took me in. Now I get paid to kill shams.
This is actually really good behavior for her. She's not marking her territory or anything.
Grim, is it?
Grim doesn't talk much. I'm pretty sure he's the lost king of some small country, or chieftain. Something like that.
You've got a good company, Bull.
We do all right.
Man can beat the Chargers, cause what hits you where it hurts. Unless you know a tavern with loose cards and looser skirts. For every bloody battlefield will gladly raise a cup. No matter what tomorrow holds, the horns be pointing up.
Thanks for coming by, boss. Glad you could meet some of my team. I can't understand how those women in the kitchen can be awake so early after the night we had.
Oh.
I'd like to hear more about the Chargers.
Always happy to talk about my guys. What do you want to know?
How did you start the group?
It's easy to make a name for yourself as a merc when you're a head taller than most folks. I spent a year or two working for Fisher's Bleeders, but their captain was crap. Figured I could do better. The best folks in the Bleeders agreed with me, so we split off.
I imagine Fisher disagreed.
He came at me. I snapped his sword in half, and we talked things out over drinks.
You have people from plenty of different backgrounds in your group.
Yes, well, when you're in Orlais and you look like me, you can't be picky about who you take in. A lot of them got turned away from other companies that didn't want a knife here, or a crazy dwarf. Their loss. You get my back in a fight and carry your own weight, you're good with me.
I'd like to know more about Krem.
He's a good soldier, and a better second in command. The troops need someone to complain to when I'm being a hard-ass. He's good for that.
You don't have any problems with him being a woman?
He's not a woman. Look, I've got horns, you only come up to my knee, and you can't dream. We're probably not the best people to go around deciding what's normal. Krem's a good man. I don't give a nug's ass that it's a little harder for him to piss standing up.
You don't have a problem with him being from Tevinter?
Nah.
But you hate the Vince.
Sure, but he's not a Vint. He's just Krem. I can get worked up about a group or a nation just fine, but people... It's too much work to hate them one by one.
What are the craziest jobs you've ever taken?
Besides this one, there's a lot of violence between the nobles here, but that's standard work. The fun stuff is when they party. They always want to impress each other, and that means getting something shiny. We've hunted wyverns, fought through caves to find some old magical crap. Even went giant baiting once.
What's giant baiting?
So this old guy, Comte Van Chess, has some kind of a pageant planned, but he needs a giant, which is off in some damn cave. He's got some kind of rare charm to control the giant, but no way he's going into that cave himself. So we go in, kill some spiders, find the giant, and wake it up. It attacks us because, of course, it does, and we let the big bastard chase us outside where Van Chess is waiting.
That was actually your plan? To let a giant chase you?
Yeah, we had to stay out of reach, but close enough that it wouldn't give up. It was tricky. Good news is the giants are slow. Long as my guys ahead could clear out the spiders, we were fine. Bad news is the giant spiderwebs slow you down a bit more than you think.
But at least Comte Van Chess got his giant for the pageant.
Turned out that charm was a phony. Giant ate the poor guy alive. It's okay, though. We still got paid.
See you later, Bull.
Nice talking with you, boss.
Yeah, but see, that's the important bit. You still got paid. Rem, you're still standing on your chair.
Inquisitor?
We'll talk later.
Alright.
It's good to know we're doing something worthwhile.
Going well, I hope?
What's been going on?
Ambassador Montelier sent me a basket of flowers to thank me for my work with the Inquisition. She's so lovely.
I should go.
Stefan finally died. It was a blessing, really. He's been in so much pain since Haven. He was out of his mind at the end. He smiled, said he smelled his mother's turnip stew, and slipped away.
Will you not consider it, Lady Cassandra? The clerics are still sequestered. If no one steps forward, they will debate until...
And you think I could make them agree? I've heard enough for one day, Mother Giselle.
Talk to her, your worship.
Is there a problem? It seems like she's bothering you.
Mother Giselle is kind, and she means well. So, yes, she was. I assume you've heard that Leliana and I are both candidates to be the next Divine. Because of what happened at Halam Shiral, of course, the Empire favors you. Thus, everyone close to you. So now the Chantry bandies our names about without even asking us first.
How can you and Liliana be candidates? You're not even priests.
It's not without precedent. Amar III was sister to the Emperor, and Galatea a commoner. Liliana and I were, at least, part of the Chantry hierarchy. It would be accepted.
What about me?
If they'll pick non-priests, why am I not a candidate?
Because they don't know what you are, and they're frightened of you. A weight such as yours would break the Sunburst throne and tear the Chantry to pieces. I just don't know why they believe Liliana or I would be any better.
If you don't want it, then tell them so.
Surely it was never meant to be like this. The Chantry, the Circle of Magi, the Templars, this cannot be what they intended when it all began. The Chantry should provide faith, hope. Instead, it cannot veer from its course, even in the face of certain death.
I'm surprised to hear you, of all people, say that.
Oh? Am I not the same woman who declared the Inquisition against the Chantry's wishes? In all my years as a Seeker, I did what I was told. My faith demanded it. But now my faith demands something else. That I see with better eyes.
If you're concerned, then make it better.
Did you know Varric is Andrastian? Oh, he blasphemes with every second breath, but deep down he believes. His heart is virtuous. But he would never step foot in a Chantry. It should be the first place to which the virtuous turn. It needs to change. Perhaps I must be the one to change it.
You're not the only candidate. What about Liliana?
Liliana says she wishes to follow Justinia's legacy. But she and I remember a different person. Justinia knew her fellow clerics and the people would only accept so much change. Liliana would cast it all aside and start over, I think. And that would be chaos for us all.
What would you change about the Chantry?
The Circle of Magi has its place, but it needs reform. Let the mages govern themselves with our help. Let the Templars stand not as the jailers of mages, but as protectors of the innocent. We must be vigilant, but we must also be compassionate to all peoples of Thedas, human or no. That is what I would change.
So this is your new crusade?
I've agreed to nothing yet.
And if the Chantry calls on you?
Then I will do whatever I can, for as long as I can. I suppose I should not be so concerned. The clerics speak my name for now, nothing more. For now, restoring order and stopping Corypheus remain our priority.
Sneaky sneak.
Good book?
Ah! I don't know what you're talking about.
Wait, are you blushing?
What would I have to blush about?
You tell me.
It's of no interest to you, I'm certain. It's a book.
I can see that.
It's one of Varric's tales. Swords and Shields, the latest chapter.
The latest chapter? Meaning, you've read them all?
Not since this all began. We've been busy.
She's read this one 3 times.
You! I told you to stop spying!
You read it out loud to me. I don't like the captain either.
I never did that. It's literature. Smutty literature. Whatever you do, don't tell Varric.
But he probably enjoyed it.
Why not? I think Varric would be pleased to have another fan.
Pleased? Yes, that's one word for it. They're terrible. And magnificent. And this one ends in a cliffhanger. I know Varric is working on the next. He must be. You could ask him to finish it. Command him to...
Command him?
Pretend you don't know this about me.
Yes, let me go to Varric and command him to finish writing his book. Exactly what I should be doing. I'll smoke. Yeah, I think I'll probably just go with Tempest. Tempest is fun to use.
Grand, isn't it? To know the sanctity of our great institution. Inquisitor.
You finished the recipe for the recipes? All done with the tedious?
I have, and I am.
Then I have a question. Would you leap with me out of this calm and prove the eye is surrounded by fire?
Alright.
I'm ready. I'm ready to commit to this path.
Well, everyone back down. I'm about to teach your Inquisitor how to play. Now we have some fun.
Alright, so now I have Tempest skills. Also, what? Why am I still in my game? Doing that. My armor on.
Inquisition?
I hope you can forgive me for pushing you away.
You're the one beating yourself up over something.
I can't hide anything from you. I owe you an explanation for what I did. But not here.
This is all sounding very suspicious.
Don't make up your mind until we get there.
Oh. Valve restaurant close to Blackwall. Okay. Alright, let's see. We gotta... Oh, I still gotta find Cullen. Cullen was supposed to be talking with Cassandra.
Still waiting for your letter of marque or commendation.
Oh, I just have to go in here.
You asked for my opinion, and I've given it. Why would you expect it to change?
I expect you to keep your word. It's relentless. I can't...
You give yourself too little credit.
If I'm unable to fulfill what vows I kept, then nothing good has come of this. Would you rather save face than admit... We will speak of this later.
And people say I'm stubborn. This is ridiculous. Cullen told you that he's no longer taking lyrium?
Yes. And I respect his decision.
As do I. Not that he's willing to listen. Cullen has asked that I recommend a replacement for him. I refused. It's not necessary. Besides, it would destroy him. He's come so far.
Why didn't he come to me?
We had an agreement long before you joined us. As a seeker, I could evaluate the dangers.
Cassandra, did you refuse Cullen's request because he's wrong, or because you want him to be wrong?
Mages have made their suffering known, but Templars never have. They are bound to the Order, mind and soul, with someone always holding their lyrium leash. Cullen has a chance to break that leash, to prove to himself, and anyone who would follow suit, that it's possible. He can do this. I knew that when we met in Kirkwall. Talk to him. Decide if now is the time.
All right. Now is the time. Well, that's been decided. It's destroyed now.
Forgive me.
Cullen, if you need to talk...
You don't have... I never meant for this to interfere.
I believe you.
But whatever good it does, promises me nothing if I cannot keep them. Did you know Ferelden's circle was taken over by abominations? I was there. The Templars, my friends, were slaughtered. I was tortured. They tried to break my mind, and I... How can you be the same person after that? Still, I wanted to serve. They sent me to Kirkwall. I trusted my Knight Commander, and for what? Her fear of mages ended in madness. Kirkwall's circle fell. Innocent people died in the streets. Can't you see why I want nothing to do with that life?
Of course I can.
Don't. You should be questioning what I've done. I thought this would be better. That I would regain some control over my life, but these thoughts won't leave me. How many lives depend on our success? I swore myself to this cause. I will not give less to the Inquisition than I did to Chantry. I should be taking it. I should be taking it.
It's kind of stern. No lyrium. For you. It's an order.
So that's it? Things get difficult and you back down.
That's not...
You've built an army. Are you capable of leading it?
Yes, Inquisitor.
Then carry on as you were. Without lyrium. Do you need that in writing?
That won't be necessary.
Yeah, Stern talking to you, and this random person keeps walking in this very important conversation that's happening. Oh, whatever. That has been resolved. He'll be grumpy for a while, but he'll be fine. Alright. One other person we need to talk to.
You've gathered quite the collection.
Issue. She should usually hanging out over here. Oh, there's Morgan. And your boy. Your magical boy.
You're the Inquisitor. You're very short. Mother didn't say you were a dwarf.
You caught me, and I was trying so hard to be taller.
But you can't be taller. Not without the Titans.
Kieran,
Oh.
are you bothering the Inquisitor?
Of course not. Did you see what's on her hand, Mother?
I did see. 'Tis time to return to your studies, little man. My son. Never where you expect him to be, naturally.
I didn't know you had a son.
Why would you? I take great pains to not let my own reputation affect him in any way. To most in the Imperial Court, he's simply a quiet and well-spoken lad, perhaps the heir of some distant family. But he goes where I go. Worry not, Inquisitor. Kieran is a curious boy, but seldom troublesome.
And where is the daddy? Is he nearby?
Will his father be joining us as well?
I have raised Kieran on my own for quite some time now, as was my preference from the start. So 'tis but the two of us, Inquisitor. Your fortress is a large place, and you will scarce notice our presence.
There's something rather unusual about him.
There is. He is a special lad. It falls to me to protect him from anything and anyone that mean him ill. Most of all, he must be protected from myself. No one could harm him more than I. To think, until recently this place stood decrepit, occupied only by the desperate and the lost. Now it is party to events that threaten to shake the world. I wonder if it is pleased.
It sounds like you've heard of Skyhold before.
This fortress was built upon the remains of a site holy to the ancient elves. They called it Tara Salan, the place where the sky is kept. It is said that from here, they reached up to the heavens to bring them down to rest. They abandoned it, as did the humans who came after them. Bones laid upon bones, silent until your arrival.
We were lucky to have found it when we did.
Fate is often mistaken for luck, as Mother is fond of saying. The magic in this place has seeped into the stones, protecting it from darkness. Those who let it fall to ruin did not know what they possessed. You, I think, shall do it justice. You were kind to welcome my aid, Inquisitor, even knowing as little of me as you do. I will do my best to aid your cause with all the knowledge at my disposal. This I swear to you.
I appreciate whatever help you can give us.
Some might think Corypheus a madman for seeking godhood. Yet one must ask, what were the old gods? What secrets of theirs did the ancient magisters know? What I fear, what all should fear, is not that Corypheus believes he can succeed. 'Tis that he actually may.
Yes, but I'm really curious. Do we get any actual scenes between Morgan and Alistair? I was wondering about that.
Lady Inquisitor.
Now that you've seen the Inquisition up close, what are your impressions?
'Tis remarkable what you have built. I will give you that. Soldiers are camped outside Skyhold in numbers that would give any nation pause. All this in precious little time, conjured from thin air through the power of fervor alone. I wonder if Corypheus suspected what he was enabling, just as I wonder what will become of all this once he is defeated.
I have no idea what will happen once all this is over.
Do you not? No doubt there will be countless men and women with suggestions. Beware the heights you reach, Inquisitor. When this is done, many will be eager to knock you back down.
I'd like to know more about you.
Ah, yes. Whence comes the mystery woman slinking her way into the Inquisition's ranks? Once I was an apostate, living well away from the banal influence of the Chantry in the Kakari wilds. Then came the Fifth Blight with its dark spawn, and I left Ferelden for the Empress's court. 'Tis certain the nobles of Orlais breathe a collective sigh of relief that I am now here.
You were in Ferelden during the Blight?
The Blight began in the Kukari Wilds, so yes, I experienced it firsthand. Indeed, I fought at the hero of Ferelden's side for a time. He is the reason the Blight was defeated. I wish things had gone differently in the end. It had to be, yet. And after that, I came to Orlais. The last place one would look for me, or such was my hope.
The Orlesian court seems like an odd place to find someone like you.
That was the point, originally. I knew the Empress was intrigued by the arcane, and that I could answer questions no Chantry mage could. Thus, we fit together nicely. I became her advisor, and she my benefactor and source of refuge. Truth be told, our arrangement would not have lasted much longer. Too many wagging tongues, even for Celine.
It's odd that an apostate could live so openly.
It confuses those who expect apostates to cower and hide. I stand boldly before them and demand to know why I need some Chantry mage to teach me to control my power. They would put me on a leash so they can feel safer at night. I am uninterested in their comfort. Naturally, it helps to have friends in high places.
Tell me more about your son.
He is a very special young man.
Special in what way?
In every way. At first, Kieran was a means to an end. But as he grew, I never thought of myself as a mother inquisitor. I had no good example to follow. I find myself becoming something I can barely recognize.
I'll leave you to the garden.
As you like.
Alright. Are you sure you don't want to say hi to Alistair? Come on. Ah, I see you brought the thing. You brought the thing in here. Alright. I think that's probably good for talking with people for now. We're kind of caught up. Got a few little things we can do.
That's the
Your
lock.
worship.
Strange bit of kit for a fortress, but no one else.
What can I
has
do
it,
for you,
that's
Inquisitor?
sure.
Sandra wants a book written. Can you do that?
Cassandra's waiting for the next issue of Swords and Shields.
I must have heard that wrong. It sounded like you just said that Cassandra read my books.
She's a big fan.
She's a pretty big fan, in fact.
Are we talking about the same Cassandra? Tall, grumpy seeker, like stabbing things? Wait, did you say the romance serial? Oh, she'll be waiting for a while then. I haven't finished it and wasn't planning to. That book is easily the worst I've ever written. The last issue barely sold enough to pay for the ink.
Well, Cassandra seems to be hooked on it.
And I honestly thought a hole in the sky was the weirdest thing that could happen. So, you want me to finish writing the latest issue of my worst serial for Cassandra?
Yes.
Oh, that's such a terrible idea. I have to do it. On one condition. I get to be there when you give her the book.
Deal.
You've got a deal.
I'll get to work then. You know, the fact that the book is terrible just makes it more worthwhile somehow.
Alright, what do we got going on here? Good Dasher.
I have requests for information on your lineage from a few interested parties at the Winter Palace.
Andraste, preserve me. Feel free to use those requests as kindling.
No, I shall take them. I want to know who pines for our commander. We can use this to our advantage.
I am not bait.
Hush. Just look pretty.
Revenge of the Merchants Guild. Okay. Smash.
The captain sent back sketches of the walls. Our experts say they look elven.
Interesting. Does Corypheus send scholars to find something the elves buried? Or something buried with them? Let's see what we have. Inquisitor. Inquisitor.
All right. All right.
Inquisitor.
Do. Yeah, I gave him to Colin.
To work? All right. Inquisitor.
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 Let's see what we have.
More fans arrived.
Inquisitor. Let us begin.
Already did that one.
Inquisitor.
Okay. Alright. Kind of caught up here. This is fixing the bridge. Let's go and take care of that. Not yet. Here's at the Sullivan blade. You know, yeah, sure, let's go check this out. Let's bring... invert. Alright, now we can probably get some action.